Well, good day, great people all over the world. I'm Dr. Clyde Rivers here today with the Golden Rule Show. And I have a special guest, Bryce DeTore. This is a young man right here that I believe is an answer for the young people of the world. Right now in this world, we have a young generation that has great expectations for equality, great expectations for each other and justice. Bryce, what have you seen that's so different about this generation? There's a whole nother spirit on this generation. What do you, give me some information, explain that to me.
Well, what I noticed, I guess you could say, with this generation, I would say they're very unique. And what I mean by unique is they have a lot, I guess you could say, whether it's through technology or social media, YouTube, Instagram, all those different avenues that they can use. A lot of them are, I guess you could say, showing their uniqueness. Now, I'm not saying it wasn't around back in the day or whatever, but there's so many different avenues that they're actually able to portray themselves or show the world how unique they are by letting their talent come out. So I don't know if, I'm not saying the other generations didn't have it, but it's a lot more easy to actually show their talent nowadays.
Why do you think young people are frustrated? I mean, I'm seeing all over the world, young people are frustrated with old systems. It's like I wonder if they've watched them not work and they're just fed up. I mean, because there is a spirit that where young people just are fed up with the systems and everything. Are you seeing that same thing?
I do see it. When I speak to different high schools and everything, the frustration that I think it's they're being told what to do, and they're being told what to do by people that are doing something that they don't want to do. So being in a classroom or even society and everything, they're being told what exactly they need, that you should go out and do, but the people that are saying that aren't even doing what they want to do.
That is powerful. So what he just said is this: if you don't have any power in your life, you can't expect other people to be enthusiastic about what you're doing. And what this young man is saying is there's a generation that can see through the facade and say, this isn't real. So this is a generation that's asking for reality. And I know what you do. I've been watching you on Facebook. I'm a big fan of yours. I watch you as you go speak to kids at school. What is your message that you're speaking to these kids? Because they are inspired and fired up after you speak.
I'm very real with them. That's one thing that I try to do is when I speak to these kids, one, I can relate to them. I'm 26. I may be speaking to high school kids, 18, 17, or whatever like that, but I can relate to them. One, I think they respond to me very well because I kind of look like them. So, but when I speak to these kids, I guess you could say what it is I put that belief back into them. And I'm always talking about belief because whether you think you're going to succeed or not, it doesn't come down to talent. It doesn't come down to natural ability. It doesn't even come, a lot of people say it's discipline. It is discipline, but you're not going to have that discipline unless you have that belief that you're actually going to be able to achieve it. So it's funny because they look at, teachers, society or whatever, they'll look at this generation as if they get bad grades, they're like, oh, this kid's stupid or this kid's not smart.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's like what the teacher doesn't know is the kid didn't even try. He's not even trying. So when the teacher says, oh, I have dumb students or this student's not going to excel in anything because he's dumb, no, it's funny. He's not even trying. Like, if he tried, he could unleash his full potential and you'd be blown away, but he's not even trying. And that's where it's like, he's actually fooling you because you think you're getting his 100%, but he's not even trying. You're not even getting anything. So if I can put this back into the students that stop actually, because a lot of people, they don't have that belief that they can get that A or they can go to college or whatever, because like I said, they're being told to do something that they may not want to do.
That's very good.
So when I talk to these kids, I actually tell them, hey, what do you want out of life? Not what your parents want or society wants or your teachers want. I'm talking right now, go home. What exactly do you, as an individual, look yourself in the mirror and say, this is what I want? And when I say that to the kids, they respond because it's like, that's the first time they were ever told that. So a lot of them don't even
Wow.
know. I'm talking to 18-year-old kids, and it's like, I've actually never thought about what do I want out of life? And when they figure out what they want, as opposed to, well, I'm doing this because my parents told me to do this, or my teacher told me to do this.
So if I'm hearing you right, you ignite passion. You wake up passion on the inside. See, it's interesting what he said. He said some kids aren't even trying.
Nope.
So I think if you have a kid that isn't trying and you judge him as ignorant, but he hasn't tried.
You're wrong.
Wow,
You got
that
played.
is powerful.
You got played.
So yeah, you got played. So are you saying what do you do specifically? If I came and sat in one of your speeches to these kids, what are you saying to wake the potential up in them?
Okay, so this generation, they've been known and coined as the entitled generation or the instant gratification generation. I hear a lot of different things from different kids. Basically, they feel since they woke up, they should get everything handed to them. So they get that name of they're entitled to them. Now, what I do is when I'm with the kids, all of them want to be successful. Mainly because, like I said, with all those different avenues of social media, Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff, they want to be successful, and their view of success is a lot of money. I can get famous off of YouTube by just sitting in my chair and doing makeup or playing video games. The #1 incomer last year on YouTube played video games, made $15 million. So they're seeing that as, wait, I play video games every day. This is what I want to do.
Yeah, okay.
I want to make this kind of money. So one of the ways I relate to it is I ask them, how many of you guys want to be successful? Everybody raises their hands. Now, there's always a teacher in the room, so I'll point to the teacher. How many of you think he's successful? Kids will be like, he's not successful. I'm like, okay, I shouldn't say that if you want to get a good grade, but I appreciate you being honest. I'll ask him, well, why isn't he successful? And they're like, well, because he's a teacher. I said, okay, well, what's your definition of success? A lot of money, big, nice house, nice car, all that stuff. I said, okay, so your definition is a lot of money, correct? Yeah. Do you have a job? No. Do you have money? No. Okay, so you're a failure, right? You just told everybody in class that your definition of success, you don't even have it, so therefore you're a failure. And they'll kind of laugh and like, oh, dang, I didn't think of it that way. But I'll tell them, the problem with this generation is there's two types of failures. One, you aim at nothing and you hit it all the time. The second is you aim at something and you hit it, but it's not even what you wanted. So you achieve it, and there's this old saying that it's basically, you climb the ladder of success, but it was on the wrong wall.
Wow.
And when you get to the top, you have these people that when they get that success, whether it's actors making millions of dollars or being successful, why are they committing suicide? Why are they overdosing on drugs if they got success? So I'll ask them, what you need to realize is success is the accomplishment of an aim or a purpose. I'll look at the teacher, and I'll say, what was your goal in life? I wanted to be a teacher. That's a success story.
Wow. Are you hearing what he says? What he's saying is we have to redefine success. Success may look like something so if I'm hearing you right, Bryce, what I'm hearing is people have set wrong targets for other people's success.
Yep.
So in other words, there's an obsolete model that is trying to tell kids that if you do this, you'll be successful.
It's all perspective.
And these kids have watched people live that old model and not be successful. Mm-hmm. So now these kids are like, this thing doesn't work. I've watched everyone do it and no one has succeeded. Man, that's a powerful insight. So the creativity in these kids, how do we release it? Because there's a comment you made. They want everything now.
Yep.
They want to sit back and watch a channel and do it and say, hey, I want to make $1 million not doing anything. So when you have kids that feel entitled, how do you move them?
I think it goes back to if they're listening to, for instance, their parents telling them, you need to do this. They're listening to their parents and their teachers tell them this. Meanwhile, they're watching a guy on YouTube make way more money than what their parents do. and what their teachers do. So they see what he's doing, and they see a 7-minute video, and they hear, oh, he's making millions of dollars doing that. Meanwhile, my parents or my teachers are struggling financially, and they're telling me to do what they did. No, I'm going to do what he did. Now, this is the problem. They see the 7-minute video. Okay? They go watch the movie that's 2 hours, and they get inspired because they're like, oh my gosh, I want to go do that. Well, the movie is 2 hours. What they don't realize is if they were to make a movie about that guy's entire life, it would be very boring and not exciting. But they get that great story in 2.5 hours, or they get that great success story in 7 minutes, and they're like, oh, I want to do that. And when they go out and they realize, oh, it doesn't take more than 7 minutes, I don't want to do it anymore because it's taking too long. They want it now. So what I tell them, and I was just as guilty of it, they think success is an end result. Like, I want to be a millionaire. Okay, so when you make that $1 million, you'll consider yourself successful, right? When you make that $1 million, it might be a 1-minute situation. In order for you to make that $1 million, you're going to have to go on a journey. So what I tell them is success isn't my personal definition, I don't consider success the accomplishment of an aim or a purpose. I think success is finding your purpose and aiming at it. And while you're aiming at it, that's success. So when I hear someone say, hey, this is my goal, this is what I want to do, and you're doing it, then you're successful. It's the realization and the progression towards your goal that makes the success. It's in the journey, not in the 1 minute that you made the million. So if I could get these kids to realize the 7 years, the 5 years, the 10 years, the 20 years that it takes, go out and actually go in it for the long run and realize that success is in the journey. And I get them excited about, let's go to work.
This is so powerful what he said, because when you think about it, most people's manifestation of their dream happens in a minute, and sometimes it's gone. But you will build your whole life based on a word that's going to come and go in a second. So what he's saying is so powerful is life is about the journey you're on. When you're on a God journey, it changes everything. As a matter of fact, I was talking with Bryce on the way down here, and I believe that every individual watching out there, God has given you something so special. And what I'm going to say is going to sound off base. I don't think all you guys are going to get it in the classrooms of the world. Some of you have passions that are outside of the realm of academia or outside of the realm that people think you should be. But yet your vision and your dream may not even exist yet because it's in your head. So I think if we can help a generation not to be a copy, but to be an original. I was telling Bryce, his original idea is what's going to make him a success, not getting a piece of paper from an institution that's already obsolete when you get it. And I like your don't be average. I had you on a couple months ago, as you spoke about that. I want the audience to hear what that is again. Don't be average.
It's something that obviously I came up with, and when I tell the kids, they respond to it really well. They like the way it sounds, and a lot of people, they're like, oh, that sounds cool, I like that. I like the t-shirt design, all that stuff. But it's not about the t-shirt. It's not even, I guess you could say, it's not even really about the message. I was asking someone the other day, or they were asking me, where do you see the company, like t-shirt sales and everything 5 years from now? I said, honestly, I don't care if people buy the t-shirts. I need them to buy the message. Save the $20, live the message. Like, go out and actually live the message. And I'm not talking, like I said, it has, the average person, it's so simple. When you're faced with a situation of, I don't feel like doing this, or should I do this, whether it's, should I study for this test? I don't want to study for this test. I don't want to wake up early, go to the gym. I don't want to lose the weight. I don't want to stop smoking. Oh, should I get out of this relationship? Whatever it is, oh, my relationship isn't working. It's very easy and simple to say, but it's hard to do. And all you have to ask yourself is, what would the average person do in my situation? And I guarantee you this, it's the first thought that comes to your mind. And whatever that thought is, do the opposite.
Oh.
So when you feel, I don't feel like studying, that's how the average person feels. Do the opposite. oh, I don't feel like waking up early and going to the gym tomorrow. Average people feel that way. The first thought that comes to your mind when you have a decision is an average thought.
Wow.
But once you become aware of that, like I said, it's simple and easy to say, but do the opposite. And when you start doing that with little things in your life, small, I'm talking small things. You set an alarm clock to wake up at 6, you wake up at 6. But what happens is it's muscle memory. The more you start doing it, then you start actually thinking the opposite of how the average person thinks. And people start noticing it. It's crazy. People will notice it.
See, if I'm hearing you right, you are creating a new mentality. Your mission is to change the mentality from the average to better than average.
Yep.
This is great because what you just said there, that is so doable. It's so understood. Have you written any materials on this yet? Is that in the mix?
On my website, I do I do a daily vlog basically of whatever book I'm reading or whatnot. I'll put together. Right now, I'm doing a web series on 6 reasons why people don't set goals. It's 2017. Everybody's all about setting goals and everything, but it always happens at the beginning of the year, and then about a month later, they all fall off. So what I'm talking about is the 6 reasons why people don't set goals. That's what these topics are all about. But yeah, I'm always putting out, whether it's video material or working on content. I do a lot of speeches, a lot of different material. So I'm always writing, and then it's just a matter of putting it into actual content so that they can see it and use it in their life.
Yeah, because I'm watching your stuff on Facebook. I'm watching kids be ignited and excited about it, and I'm going, I got to have this guy back on my show because what you're doing, it's working. It's actually moving a generation. And tell me about your organization, MAD.
MAD.
Yeah.
It's a campaign that I started that one thing, when I started speaking to schools, a lot of them would ask me, do you have anything on bullying? I usually speak at the beginning of the year to get them fired up. I usually speak at the beginning of the second semester to keep them fired up, right? It's good, you get hyped and everything, but let's keep that for the entire year. And a lot of different teachers, principals, whatever it may be, they were asking me, do you have anything on bullying? Reason why is bullying, unfortunately, it's everywhere. Cyberbullying, it's a lot more easier to get into. So I started, it was funny because when I got asked that, I didn't have anything. But when I was getting interviewed the other day for a school paper, I was asked, like, why do you do what you do, or why are you inspired? Like, what motivated you? And you're either motivated by the fear of pain or going towards pleasure. Me, I'm scared to death of pain. I avoid stuff, right? I try to avoid certain things. Like I work out every day because I don't want to have health issues. Health issues scare me. That's why I work out. Why I speak to kids is all through high school and everything, I hate when people get picked on. I hate when people get bad-mouthed, and it does not go well with me. I really, really hate when people who are, I guess you could say, they can defend themselves, but they won't because they have this image of themselves that they can't. And when someone takes advantage of that, like if there's anyone out there that they have to put people down to feel better about themselves, I have a big issue with that. Like if the only way you can get attention or feel good about yourself is by picking on someone, I don't like that. So when I got asked, do you have anything on bullying? I was like, I never really thought about that. Wrote something in maybe like 3 hours. It was very easy, got some statistics and everything, and the first time I did it, I gave the speech, I was very excited about it just because that is something that I don't like, and it does need to be fixed. So the campaign I started is called I Stay Mad, and it stands for I Stay Making a Difference. And what I tell these kids is, people that bully each other, they want attention. And the average person, like I tell myself, I have a whole video on it of me being interviewed about why I started this campaign. In high school, as much as I hated it, I was just like the average person that just watched it. Didn't do anything. It's not my problem. It has nothing to do with me. But if I would have had the mentality of DBA back in the day and thought, what would the average person do? And I looked around and saw what the average person was doing, All I would have had to do was do the opposite and go stand up for the kid or intervene or whatever it may be. And I'm not talking about getting physical or confrontation or anything, but it's as simple as if, someone's making fun of your shoes and I walk up and I tell you, hey, I actually like your shoes. And I give that guy no attention, that guy's gonna stop. He's doing it for attention. Don't give him attention and it stops. It's not that hard.
That's great. Man, so is your campaign, is it taking off or is it something that because I've been watching you lately and it seems like everything is just blowing up a little bit for you.
I'm getting out there. That's one of my goals for 2017 is I spoke to a lot of different people, got your advice, and obviously took it is you got to have content and you just got to get out there. It's all about networking. And I even had that mentality of when, they were telling me, I talked to the kids and everything, same thing. I want to get out there and I want to tell my story. Well, I got to go to work at it. I got to get out there and take every speaking opportunity I can get. I don't care if I'm speaking to one kindergartner or a high school of 500 kids. You got to get out there and you got to take the opportunity. So I spoke for a high school for over 120 kids. The response was amazing, and now it's just a matter of basically getting the message out there and networking. That's one of the things I'm working on.
So people, if you want Bryce to come to your church, to speak to groups in your community, in your city, could you give us your website?
Yeah, it's going to be www.dbalifestyle.com, and like I said, all the video, the content, the vlogs are up there. If you want to get in contact with me to have me come speak to, like you said, your high school, junior high, or your youth group, you can contact me on that. And I would love to, if I could reach and speak to every young generation out there. That's what I want to do.
Are you available to travel?
Oh yeah. If there's kids, I'll come.
You see, this is a young man here that has a passion, and the whole while I've known him, his passion hasn't waned. Let me tell you something. If you don't know what you're passionate about, you'll never get to it. Passion makes you wake up in the morning. Passion makes you train and makes you pursue, even when you don't understand all of the picture's not clear. But this is a young man that moves forward, and I'm watching him, and there's a hunger and a passion when he speaks, when he talks. People listen. He is one of the voices that I personally I'd recommend any leader in any nation around the world, any youth group. I recommend him because I've seen the results of what he does. What he does, he gives people hope and inspiration, and he gives them a practical step. And I know of no one else that is changing a mentality like this man. Bryce, I'm honored to have you on our show again, and may your message get around the entire world.
Appreciate that.
Now, I'm going to pray for everyone watching. If you have an average life, if you're tired of being average, Bryce, just tell them what to do if they're tired of being average.
If you're tired of being average, and I could give you one advice or one, nugget to take from this, I would say aim at something. Start aiming at something. And whatever you aim at off the bat, you may get to it and realize that's not what I'm doing or I want to do, but aim at something. Average people aren't aiming at anything. So when you aim at something, or if you miss or if you don't hit it, who cares? You learned. You didn't fail. Everybody always says, oh, you failed at that. No, you're not failing. You're learning, but don't be afraid to fail and start aiming at something. As soon as you aim at something, you do what the average person doesn't do. And it's that simple.
Wow. Well, everyone, thank you for watching the Golden Rule Show. Bryce, honored to have you back. Hey, people, please watch this message over and over again and change your mentality. Don't be average. Thank you all, and God bless you.